Welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're thinking of moving to the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area, then I've got a few surprises for you maybe. You can't know, no matter how much research you do, you can't know about everything about a city until you've actually moved there. I don't want you to have some big surprises once you unpack those moving boxes. I'm Susan Thetford, your Nashville realtor and native Nashvillian, one of the few remaining unicorns, and I'm here to help serve you in helping you do some of that research. I'm going to share with you all the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful things that I think I have here in my hometown, but I'm going to give you the honest truth about all of it. Today we're going to talk about 7 things that I have found in my time as a realtor that people haven't really understood when they're moving to the Nashville area, and they wish they did. And besides that, you need to stick around. If you do stick to the 8th, I'm going to tell you the biggest, most surprising things that people find about moving to Nashville, and until they're actually looking for a home and have made the decision to move here, they may be unhappy to have learned this. Is that going to be you? Not if you stick around to the end. You're going to know about it. See you on the other side. So the number one thing is going to be Nashville traffic. It's going to say, and I'm going to give you the script, Nashville traffic is not fun. You'd think a city as cosmopolitan as Nashville would be easy to get around in, right? Well, Nashville was developed around the river, like most large cities, and had no idea that we were going to have the population growth and explosion we've had in the last 20, 30 years, but especially the last 10 years. Nashville does not have a mass transit system like a above ground railway or a subway. Everyone is in their car. You truly must have a car if you want to take part in any of the wonderful things that is about Nashville. You can't walk everywhere that you want to go to. That's great, so don't miss out. But the problem is I-24, I-65, and I-40, they all back up. Don't even get me started on trying to get through Brentwood at 5 p.m. at the Old Hickory I-65 intersection. The roads were not built for 2 million people, and with all the suburbs and outlying areas, with people wanting to come into Nashville or go back home in the evenings, some of those main arteries can get really backed up. I had a Phoenix mom who moved here, wanted to be in the Green Hills area, or actually over by Percy Warner Park, one of my favorite places, but what she didn't understand is that looking at the map, it was only going to be about a 10-minute drive, she thought, to get to her daughter's school, AM and PM. What turns out to be what should be a 12-minute drive or so by the crow fly truly ends up being about a 20 to 25-minute drive during those peak times. So my tip to you is always check drive times during rush hour times. Don't look at drive time at 11:30 a.m. to anywhere you want to go. Also, put into your Waze app wherever you're going until you've really learned those back streets to give you easier access. And I can tell you about some of those, but always put into your Waze app so that you can know where there are maybe traffic stops. You can also know where there are some accidents that are going to slow your drive down. Not that difficult, but you just got to know what you're doing. If you think everybody in Nashville is wearing cowboy hats and singing about heartbreak, well, you're only about a quarter of the way right. Those hat wearers are tourists, but there's a lot of heartbreak in all the songs that are being written around here because we have a lot of producers, a lot of writers, and a lot of musicians. Sure, the Grand Ole Opry and downtown honky tonks, oh my gosh, that was hard for me to say, are truly iconic. Say that fast. Broadway honky tonks are iconic. Got it. Anyway, but Nashville has a huge indie, rock, pop, R&B, and gospel scene too. East Nashville has dive bars with punk bands. The Basement, an iconic Nashville tradition that mostly is only known to the locals, has incredible singer-songwriters. You'll even catch jazz at Rudy's or Latin music around Nolensville. Little known fact, Little Green Hills Bluebird Cafe is where, so many of the greats that you know actually got started, and you can still find them sometimes today in this tiny little dive of a place right in Green Hills. I told a couple from San Diego about a jazz fusion band downtown, and they said, I thought you all only had banjos and fiddles. No, we don't. You're going to love the whole music scene. So my tip is to be sure to explore all the music venues all over the Middle Tennessee area. Get out of downtown, get out of Broadway, get off to where the locals enjoy the daily life here with music. Hey, and if you're not getting my weekly newsletter, that means you're not in the know about some of my favorite things that I think you might be interested in every single week here in the Nashville area. For example, James Taylor actually is coming to an outdoor venue that's beautiful here in Franklin. Now, you know those tickets are going to sell out fast. That's not until September 15th, I think. But I tell you, if you're coming to visit in Nashville, you need to be getting my newsletter and you need to be sure to grab some of those tickets. Just one small example of away from town music that you're going to enjoy. Number 3, the weather will keep you guessing. 4 seasons in 1 week? Yep. Summers are hot and sticky. 90-degree plus humidity makes for horrible hair. If yours is flat like mine, it's going to be flatter. If yours is very curly, and I really am very jealous, it's really going to be more like Rosanna in July and August. Just 2 months. Wear a hat, wear a ponytail holder. You're going to be like everybody else in town. Our summers are hot, but the winters can have surprise ice storms. And you'd think the world is ending when we get a dusting of snow forecasted. Not even have to get it. Spoiler alert, we also don't have many plows, which is why some of our streets are sometimes not so great if they're heavily traveled streets, like getting on and off I-440 between 40 to 65 to getting back down to 24. Here's the reason. When we think we're going to get a snow or ice event, they put down a lot of the salt. They do a great job of salting those roads, but that is hell on asphalt. So we don't have plows here because we just don't need them, and you can leave all of your snow equipment at home too, by the way. Don't pack it. You won't need it here. But we do get some winters with 1 or 2 snows. Spring and fall are beautiful, but can bring some temperature swings and tornado warnings. A couple from Aspen just recently moved here and asked me, is it very normal to get the need for heat in the morning and then AC in the afternoon? Is that normal to get that in a week? And I said, kidding? You can get that on a Tuesday. When we do have tornado warnings, we have tornado sirens all over the city. And believe me, if it's close to your area, you are going to hear those sirens. Almost woke up just to get some B-roll last night for you, because at 1:15 to about 2 o'clock, we had tornado warnings where I live here in Franklin. Those warnings woke me up from a very sound sleep. I heard it. Whatever preparation I needed to make, I had plenty of time to make it. When the risk of possible tornado was gone, the sirens went off, and I still stayed up. But what I'm telling you is you're going to have ample warning whenever that occurs, because those sirens are loud. Here's my tip for you. Wear plenty of layers. In the summertime, you're going to be hot outside and you're going to be very chilly inside because the air conditioning is way too high, especially in the grocery stores. Have multiple layers at all time. Have the weather app on your phone at all time, and bring your sense of humor. Number 4, the housing market packs a punch. So let's talk about real estate, because this one does catch many people off guard. The word in the streets are, Nashville is very reasonable, you've got so much more bang for your buck. Well, maybe. Nashville isn't the bargain city that it used to be. It hasn't been for the last 4 or 5 years. Median home prices are hovering around $450,000 to $500,000 depending on where you are looking. Areas like 12th South, Sylvan Park, or the nation's Green Hills, Belmont, they are hot and pricey. Even more of the suburban spots like Mount Juliet, Nolensville, Hendersonville, Spring Hill aren't as cheap as people expect. There's reasons for that. Conversations, I can explain that for you and find out where else might be the right fit for you if you're really looking for the most affordable places. So I recently helped close on a home for a family in Chicago. When they were looking, they really wanted land and privacy. They wanted at least an acre, more preferably 5 acres. We had to go a good hour outside of Nashville to one of the more suburban areas to find that. And even then, there were multiple offers at that $500,000 price point. So many times I have a conversation with somebody, I hear what they want, but if I can't quite show them exactly all those things on their list, they think I wasn't listening. Not true. It depends on what's available. So my tip on this one is be ready to move fast. Have a local on-the-spot agent who can find things for you, get you into them via FaceTime, and be ready to move fast. Things won't stay, but you need those boots on the ground because you don't have time to wait 5 or 6 days till you can get on an airplane to come out here to come take a look. It's gone. Number 5 is going to be Southern hospitality, but not behind the wheel. Okay, y'all, Nashville drivers are a whole new mood, and it is new. So it must be all those newcomers. People here are kind, sweet, generous, very polite until they get behind the wheel. What is that? No one uses blinkers. Folks drive slow in the fast lane and treat mergers like a game of chicken. Now, I will say that all of our new Californians do understand those roundabouts, but they still don't quite understand that we merge onto the interstate. We don't stop before we get there. I had that from some of my Denver people too. That's a strange one to me. Please, just give it another second or two. Turn on your blinkers. Make sure there's nobody there next to you in your blind spot before you move over. Driving defensively is tougher now than it ever used to be. And give yourself some time for all those unknowns that do happen on the road. Okay, number 6, big city metro meets small town. So here's something that I particularly love. You can live in the city, but still feel like you're more in the country. Now, Nashville's not like it was when I was growing up in the 70s. It took me from my home by Percy Warner Park maximum of 10 minutes to get to Green Hills and to get to my school. But today, it's more like 20-25 minutes. But I can tell you, that drive back home over by Percy Warner Park, down Hillsborough Road with the beautiful cherry trees that are now actually in bloom here at the spring, they're places that is just lovely, just beautiful. So whether you live a little bit more out or you just love the drive, but maybe you're biking, it's beautiful. You still feel like you've got a lot of countryside near you, even if you live here in the city. In 30 minutes, you can go from high-rise condominiums downtown to horse farms in Leapers Fork. Places like Fairview, College Grove, and Kingston Springs offer space, quiet, and nature, all without being too far from downtown Nashville or Franklin. A recent couple from New York told me they have never been to a place where you could live out in the country but still DoorDash Thai food. It's a thing. You can do it here. So my tip, think about what your lifestyle goals are. What are the 5 things you must have outside of budget, please? We can't do anything about that. But what are the 5 things you must have? 10-minute drive to Target? We can do it. 4 acres and a 10-minute drive to Target? Probably not. Which is most important to you? Number 7 is going to be everyone's new here. As a native Nashvilleian, I really find that one of the kind of interesting things to me is that if you're a newcomer to Nashville, you're not alone. We natives are more alone than that. But, you know, everyone is a newcomer here. People are new and excited about learning about their new area, their new neighborhood, and they want to talk to people. Nashville is a city of transplants. You will meet people from California, New York, Florida, Arizona, Texas, you name it. That means new residents are constantly building community through schools, churches, co-working spaces, and meetups. I'm always going to street fairs here in Franklin or up in Mount Juliet or some of the farmers markets that are on a regular basis here. And it's so much fun to listen to people and talk to people about, where are you from? What brought you here? Hearing these conversations about why people are here, what they're loving about Nashville, where they're finding the best places to get their hair cut, to homeschool their children. What are some of the best groups for that? People are talking and conversing. They're not just down in their bubble in their cell phones. And that, I think, is very surprising to the newcomers that's not only acceptable, it's expected and wanted here, but it's also new and nice to hear people getting along and enjoying their community. So my tip to you is don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. People are friendly. They like telling you about the things that they've learned about. We're friendly here. We want to keep it that way. And everybody remembers what they were newcomers. Not me, but I enjoy telling you about the things that I love. So if you've stuck along with me this far, I promised you I would give you the number one thing that I think surprises people. And when we have those long conversations, they're not long, they're fun conversations. And I suggest you have it too. If you're seriously thinking of moving to Nashville, grab that QR code, find a time on my calendar. Let's talk about 30 minutes so we can talk about the things that you want in your move to Nashville. But one of the questions that I'm constantly asked is, or told, is, I don't want to live in an HOA. Well, now my number 8 tip is you probably are going to live in an HOA, and there's not a lot I can do about it unless you have unlimited funds or you want an old home. So let's talk about it. If you want a home that is relatively new, and by that I mean built 1990 or more recently, if you want a home that has amenities, maybe underground utilities, maybe it's got sidewalk, streets, gas lines, if you want a gas stove or gas heat, you in all probability are going to have to be in an area that has an HOA, because frankly, it wasn't until the 90s that we had able to put in underground utilities and had enough gas lines to be able to you had to have enough density on all these farms that were being bought and developed. You have to have enough density to bring in from miles away maybe the gas lines, or to bring in underground electric, whether it's underground or not. You have to have the numbers worked out for the density, which means you got smaller lots. But at that point, people started wanting more of a community anyway. They wanted not to have their own swimming pool, but they wanted access to one. They wanted a playground for their children to play on. They wanted sidewalk community in the neighborhood. They wanted pickleballs now. Everybody wants pickleball courts. People want to build a community within their community, and with that comes density. And that's just the way it is. So unless you want an older home that you maybe can renovate, or unless your budget means you're most areas, you've got to be over $1 million for certainty to be able to find a half-acre, really nicely updated, renovated ranch on that half acre. And it's going to cost you about $1 million in Franklin, at least. It's going to cost you more than that in Nashville, in the Green Hills, Percy Warner Park, Oak Hill, Forest Hills area. Truly, in a lot of these places, they're tearing down the older ranch on a large lot, beautiful community, mature trees. They're tearing those homes down because they don't really have the bones to be renovated nicely, and putting on new construction. If you pay $1 million for a lot, you are having a home that's valued at least $3.5 to $4 million. We're seeing that all over town. If you have that budget, oh boy, talk to me. I can do it for you. But unless you have that budget, I wouldn't either. Please know that for me to find the things you want in a home, especially if you don't want an older home, you are going to be in an HOA. Now, I've heard there are some nightmare community HOAs that people are coming from in other areas. I can't tell you that we have that issue. I haven't seen any kind of Karen HOA videos here in the Nashville, Tennessee area, but some of you must have been really damaged because everybody says, I don't want an HOA. Sorry, you're going to have an HOA in all probability. But let's talk about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll find it for you if it's possible. So are you surprised? Nashville does have its quirks, but that's what makes us special. We're not quite as weird as Austin, and we don't even use that as our tagline, but we do have our quirks. That's to be expected. But if you're truly thinking about moving to Nashville, I would love to help you find the best fit for you and all of your needs, your wishes, your wants, and all the things in between. Whether you want the city lights, country nights, or something in between, we've got something for you here. We need to have that conversation so I can help you find it. I'd love to speak to you. Again, grab that QR code. Let's find a time to talk. If you're not quite ready to talk, then here you go. You need to grab our new 2025 relocation guide. If you want to know all the things about local hotspots, shopping, local attractions, parks, business life, the best suburbs, the best towns, best communities in Nashville area, all that great information is right here in our relocation guide. If you are thinking of selling your home, this is going to be good tips for you no matter where you're selling your home. Tips, tricks, the things you need to do to build yourself a perfect situation to sell your home for the highest dollar possible. I've got that. I'll put that in my links too. And this handy buyer's guide to teach you all about buying a home in the Nashville, Tennessee area in 2025. It's quite different than it was just a couple years ago, but we take you from beginning of even starting your search all the way to keys in hand and finding your way in the community. All of these I'll have down linked below for you in the description box, and I look forward to talking to you very soon. See you next week.